January the 25th, 2026. Guys, you can look and see the coverage of the ice storm, and it is millions of people without power right now. We have, I think Mississippi's like one of the top states, maybe number 2 or 3 in power outages, even more than Texas and Louisiana. Tennessee, you're getting hit hard with them, and we're starting to see the outages pop up in Alabama and over into Georgia. Again, the deep purple, this is ice storm warnings. The blue, the very bright blue, is very cold temperature warnings. This is ice. Now, what I've been concerned about for you guys in Alabama now, and this is going to move over into Georgia, South Carolina, is in the yellow, these are tornado watches. Remember that thin band that I showed you following that ice trail in the last video last night? And that's what we're dealing with right here. So keep your heads down all through the Florida Panhandle. This covers all of South Alabama and into southwestern Georgia right now. All the blue is cold temperatures coming in, frost warnings and things like that. Guys, you got just about every kind of weather you can think of. But it's amazing how fast that this is moving, because Texas right now, you've got power outages, but it appears you have very little precipitation at all. That's what we're hoping. Our home here is maybe 20 miles from where it's starting to ice up. And so we were very fortunate, and I sure have been saying some prayers about it, keeping our power on here. It makes it so much easier. And when you get the ice storm in here, it may be several days you don't have power. And I feel for the people that are already without power. I know that I've seen several articles about power trucks and electrical crews being pre-stationed in certain places. And if you look at some of the traffic cams throughout your states that you're seeing here, I was looking at Oxford, Mississippi. It looks like you got a lot of power outage there. Roads are iced up. The Mississippi River Bridge at Vicksburg, it looks like it's closed, covered in snow. The Mississippi River Bridge in Greenville, in that area is closed. And all you have south of there is going down to Natchez, and it's hard to tell. Now, guys, I've warned you about this. It'll be over in just a moment. They're mad because they can't go out in this weather and play. Go ahead and get it out of your system. You about through? Some of you guys said let them sing, so here we are, guys. They think because they're Huskies, they get to play in this mess. Sorry, guys. They did it twice, I guess, for emphasis. You guys are not going out in this mess right now. The floor's already tracked up. You're eating. Now just behave. That's life with a pack of Huskies right there. That's when they're inside. You've heard them before being out on the deck. Well, that's in my studio. Got 3 right here, and then the rest are in the den. So you've got to hear a good bit of them at that point. Sorry. Now, this is zooming in a little on our satellite radar. And what you're seeing, this is Mississippi. Here's the state line with Alabama. This is the Mississippi River. New Orleans is here. And you've got marine warnings, and you've got to watch these because you can get a water spout, and you don't want to be out in your boat. But this red line right here, guys, is where the area of concern for tornadoes is right now. That's why you're seeing that yellow box warning. And this is going to sweep across the entire area throughout the day. You can see in the top right there's tornado watches popping up in this thunderstorm. Now, this is today's forecast, pretty much what we anticipated for Sunday. Snow in New Mexico, Wyoming, Colorado, snow from Oklahoma through Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio. Just look at all the areas that are covered. And these gray and white lines are heavy snow. Then here we have the mixture of rain, sleet, and a little snow, then the storms and the moisture off in the Gulf of America. But look what happens tomorrow. This is how quick it's moving. Tomorrow, look at that. Go back to today. Let's go to Monday. You're still getting snow in the northeast. Let's go to Tuesday. Look at that. Amazing difference, isn't it? We've had about 3 or 4 days of this. And so that's why Texas, even today, look, you've got a lot of clear territory as far as no precipitation coming down. Now, even though we're seeing the clearing, guys, we still got the effects of the ice. And that's something that may take a few days for it to melt off enough for people to get any work done at all. But here's the list of states. Tennessee is topping the list at 324,931 here. Now, total reported outages are just under 1 million at 934,365. But Texas, you are at 103,891. Louisiana, you've got 119,287. Here in Mississippi, we've got 149,966. Alabama, you have been rising throughout the day. It wasn't early this morning, you weren't above 10,000. Now you're at 27,800. Georgia at 34,708. Tennessee, again, 324,931. Kentucky, you're getting up there at 75,579. And in just North Carolina, you got 16,000. Let's see, South Carolina, you got 3,400. It's not going to light up below 10,000. So if you're in these states, you can still find outages. Arkansas is at 5,734, for instance, and they've been in the path of a lot of this. So you've got the West Virginia, 23,000, Virginia, 15,000. Here, let's see what we got. Yeah, 15,851 in Virginia. So if you've got friends or families in this area, check on them, guys. And if you click on the state, it'll break it down into the counties. Say, for instance, Tennessee, which is the hardest hit, you can see the path of the storm. See that? Right through here, and you can see where the populated areas are. But say Davidson County, really hard hit, 189,978. Hickman County, just 4,573. But Davidson, you must have taken the brunt of a lot of this weather. It must have been right in the center of the path. And looking at the nation, you can see the swath of moisture. Man, it's really pulling out of the across the Gulf, but it's still being pushed from the Pacific. Moisture here in Texas, Panhandle, and New Mexico. But here's the main brunt of it, and here's the clearing line. We're actually starting to see a little bit lighter skies. We're not quite out of this section right there in the center yet. And just taking a look at where our moisture is, look at this. You've got all of that covering the northeast with a pretty good blanket of mostly snow right now, to be honest with you. Here's our clearing pattern back in this area. Glad to see that little bit of light coming through all this gray skies. And again, moisture coming in to Colorado now. Maybe it'll help the snow resorts and the people that depend on those to make a living during the wintertime. You can see your lake effect snow. Look at this. You guys are tough and up in this area, and I know that in Minnesota it's been cold, and that's going to be the problem from here on out. Now, as this cold front has pushed a lot of moisture out of it, you're starting to see the temperatures drop behind it. Look at this line of purple. It goes through a good swath of Texas, all of Oklahoma, pretty much all of Arkansas, up through the eastern sections of Tennessee, northeast Mississippi, and on up through there. And we're talking about 4 or 5 days here to where at nights are going to be well below freezing and barely above it in the daytime. Right now, the wind chill here is 26. But you don't have to go far up to the Greenwood area, and that's where the bridges are closed, to see 9 there, and into Arkansas, 11 and 7 degrees. Nothing like Minnesota, though, minus 38 right there. So here in the South, guys, I hope you get through the ice sections, and if you didn't, if you did have ice, hoping and praying that the electrical workers and the linesmen can get in there with this clearing much quicker than we anticipated and get your power back on. And I'm hoping ours holds up. We usually lose it in any type of rough weather here, but right now it seems a little bit calm. Now let's look at one of the models. This is NAM, and we'll go forward with it. You can see everything moving to the east. Notice that some of the cooler air is coming in behind it, but the severe thunderstorms and tornado watches are going to be pretty much statewide across Alabama, Georgia, and getting into the Carolinas. Back that up. Check that out. Moving on out. Come back. And that's what we're dealing with, guys. I feel lucky so far. We just got to deal with the extreme temperatures for the next few days, like I said, and so do all of us. You can see where your ice is. You can see where your snow is. That's going to continue on through today. And by tomorrow, a lot of this is going to be cleared out and into the Atlantic Ocean, and that's a good thing. We're watching it, guys. You watch it. Updates will be coming. Be safe.